I'm about to make your playthrough of Scorn incredible, so consider liking the video and subscribing. Thanks. Tip number 1. Before starting a new game. Before diving into the story, enter the settings menu and review your controls. Notice that there's a button that heals you. The game never explains this feature even after you acquire the item that makes healing possible, so it's very easy to overlook entirely, but that would be a grave mistake. Next, enter graphical settings and turn off motion blur. Feel free to test blur on and off yourself, but I think the vast majority of you will agree that the game looks better without the image smearing every time you turn your head. The next setting to experiment with is post-processing. This adds a film grain effect to the visuals and, in my opinion, is best set to medium or low. Tip number 2. Take your time, be observant, and explore everywhere. Scorn can best be described as a puzzle maze hybrid, and you will need to pay close attention to every detail of the environment so as not to overlook a required key, weapon, or a new path. The game is also simply incredible to look at, and you'll get the most out of your experience by taking in every viewable angle of each area and appreciating the art design and atmosphere. Tip number 3. The majority of enemies you encounter should be avoided. Creatures you encounter are essentially part of a hive, and like wasps or bees, you'll find them moving from area to area through their connecting tunnels, minding their own business. Try not to kick the nest. You are the inferior killer here, and your weapons are stressfully awkward to wield. This is by design. If you haven't been spotted yet, give the creature space and allow it to go about its business. Your weapons should be used sparingly, either to remove environmental hazards, to stagger enemies before you run away, or as a last-ditch effort for survival in a final stand for your life. Tip number 4. Heal every time you take damage. There's plenty of health to find in Scorn's world, but you'll need to keep your health bar filled. You don't want the embarrassment of dying knowing that you had a low health bar and multiple healing injections when you stumbled into a fight. Tip number 5. Learn the story. After completing the game, you might be confused or even disappointed with the story. I highly recommend watching Super Horror Bros' story explanation video, which perfectly dissects Scorn's plot, making the game all the more appreciable as it is certainly a well-crafted story with very intentional themes. Though it may not feel like it on a first playthrough, the plot actually leaves very few questions unanswered. If this video was helpful to you, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more. Thanks for watching, and sweet nightmares.